just when you thought you were safe from another get ready with me makeup type video, I got a $100 gift card to Ulta for Christmas, and I found the books and makeup tag. What's up guys, it's Renae, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna be doing the books and makeup tag. This is right up my alley because as much as I look like a hobgoblin, 98% of the time, I love makeup and I love to beat the face every once in a while when I film, when I go on a date, and that's about it. If you don't know, the books and makeup tag is something that's been going around the AuthorTube, BookTube community for a little while now. I will link the original video in the cards and I'll list the questions below. It's a really simple, fun, easy tag. I was about to say fun and fresh. I have to stop saying that because I hate myself for it. But it's pretty quick and fun, and I have to get ready to film all the other videos for March, even though this is the second video I'm posting in March. This is all an illusion. Time isn't real. So I figured I would get ready and film at the same time. I'm an entrepreneur. I have to multitask, and I have things to do today. I don't know what they are. So the first step of any routine is primer, and so the question is pick a book that left a lasting impression. So I'm gonna go in, I'm actually gonna do 2 primers because I had an allergic reaction to some antibiotics I was on, so my pores and skin are very angry. So I'm gonna go in with the Ulta Beauty Poreless Face Primer as well as the Catrice Cosmetics Prime and Fine Smoothing Refiner Primer type situation. So let's do this. So a book that left a lasting impression, I just read this in January and I don't know why no one told me it existed. It's The Merciless by Danielle Vega. I love that book so much that I wish I wrote it, and the reason it left a lasting impression on me, without spoilers, I'll just say teeth and nails. And you can interpret that how you want, but I have not been able to stop thinking about that scene. Number 2 is foundation, so your favorite first book in a series. And so my foundation, my go-to is Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation in soft beige. And also I usually would use a Real Techniques beauty blender, but it grew mold, so I threw it away. And so I'm using a dusty, crusty foundation brush that I found in my bag. Don't come for me. That brush was a disaster, so I'm just gonna use my hands. Favorite first book in a series. I also just recently read this book, and it was The Bells by, I want to say Danielle, D-H-O-N-I-E-L-L-E, Clayton. Wow, that book was really good. It was more fantasy than I'm used to reading. I read it mostly because I'm trying to read more diverse books by diverse authors, first of all, and then second of all, Teen Creeps did an episode on it a while back, and it sounded really interesting, so I went in kind of knowing some of the stuff, but it'd been so long, I'd forgotten what really happened, and I loved that book. It was so well put together. It was so good. And I know there's another one coming out, or is already out, Everlasting Rose. I'm super stoked to read that. I love all the twists and everything that that's a wonderful book. The next one is concealer, so it's a character that you wish you could get rid of, so I love the phrasing of that. Usually on any given day, I would use my Holy Grail concealer, which is this e.l.f. 16-hour camo concealer in light beige. But because of the oranginess of this nudie foundation that I use, when I wear this, I usually will go in with this e.l.f. concealer highlighter duo. This is in light/glow, and I just use the concealer part, and then I will do the highlighter part. It's not really like a blinding anything, but I will use that on my orbital, like, you know, where you're supposed to put the highlights to kind of lay a base for like a stronger highlight later on, because it has more of an orange undertone. I don't know what I'm talking about. But a character I wish I could get rid of. This was a perfect tag for me because I read so many freaking books in January and February. Francesca Shaw in Crazy Rich Asians. I just read that book in February, and holy shit, I hate that girl. Like, at first I was like, oh, obviously Nick Young's mom, like, she sucks, but like, she's kind of a victim of her circumstance, and like Francesca Shaw is just a raging asshole. Like, we all know a girl like Francesca Shaw. Like, we all know a girl who's like mean for the sake of being mean, like entitled for the sake of being entitled, like just the goddamn worst. And I understand why she was necessary to the story. Doesn't mean that I have to want her to exist. The next one is powder, but I'm going to go a little bit out of order because highlighter is at the bottom, and I actually use a liquid highlighter. You're not supposed to put liquid on top of powder like you care, but you're going to notice they're listed in different order, and you're going to be like, why did you do them out of order? And this is why. Next one is highlighter, a book that brightened your day. And I'm really late to a lot of things, and one thing I was really late to was, this is Wet n Wild Hello Halo liquid highlighter in Goddess Glow. So it's like a champagne-y, too dark for me, but I don't care. Was Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda. Like, I obviously had heard of this book before. It was a movie, and I have this problem where, like, there's so many books, right? And there's so many books that deserve attention. There's so many books that, like, deserve our, you know, whatever. And I don't, you can't read them all, right? So this was one that I was like, oh, it's contemporary, like, I'll get to it when I get to it. And then I literally read it in like a day and a half. Like, I could not put it down. I had it on my Kindle on my phone, and I was like sneaking in the bathroom at work to read it. Like, I had to know what happened with Simon, like and Blue. Like, I had to know. Was that his name? Blue? I don't remember. I literally read it like 2 months ago. But it was so good and wholesome. I cried. I felt so bad for Simon. I was so Simon was so, like, relatable and lovable, especially as someone who, like, my coming out situation in, like, high school was really messy, and not as messy as his, but, like, I totally understood that. I loved, like, that they were on Tumblr, because I was totally on Tumblr in high school. Like, I love that book. It was so good. And then I'm gonna have to skip around again because blush is towards the bottom right before highlighter, but for me, I put my blush, my bronzer on, and then I buff it all out with powder. So I'm gonna have to do blush and bronzer combined, but blush is the question, and blush is a book with a cringe romance. And honestly, I don't read a lot of books with cringy romance. Like, if the romance, like, I like books that aren't, like, necessarily romantically centered, but romance is, like, a pretty, you know, substantial part of the story. Like, it's important to the story. But if I'm honest, I cannot even scroll past Twilight on, like, a Netflix or Amazon Prime list without, like, getting embarrassed. Like, I get so embarrassed, and it's mostly because of, like, my obsession with that story and, like, how, like, dated it really became and is, and, like, I don't know, like, it didn't age well, and it's embarrassing, like, how invested I was in that. And so when I see it, I get embarrassed, but it's not because the romance is that bad. Like, it's really not, like, comparatively to, like, other things in the same genre. It's just, like, my personal attachment to it as a younger person is, like, makes me uncomfortable. Now it's time for powder. I didn't tell you what I was using for the bronzer and brush. It's an e.l.f. like duo in St. Lucia. It looks like that. This is my favorite bronzer ever. And for powder, I'm gonna use Wet n Wild Photo Focus Pressed Powder in Neutral Buff. This is like my everyday pressed powder. When I wear concealer, I go over it with this. And I'll also probably be using like an e.l.f. like translucent setting powder at the end. I think that's why, like, I consider powder to be at the end, because this is just like to buff out my harsh lines and, like, all that good stuff. Favorite last book in a series. So right now it would be Dark Visions by L.J. Smith. Number 3 is called The Passion. That whole book is, like, so, that whole series is so, like, cool and interesting, and it's, like, witchy, but also a little bit sci-fi, which I'm usually not into, and, like, a little bit love triangle-y, which I'm usually not into, and then there's, like, it's vampires, but it's not, and it's, like, oh, it's really good. And the last book is, like, really, really good, and it gets really scary to the point where, like, you don't know if certain people are gonna survive. And, like, for L.J. Smith, I'm never really worried about like the welfare of the characters. Like I know they're pretty much gonna come through, but like this one I did not know, and I was like, oh shit, what is gonna happen? I love how the next one is phrased because it's eyebrows, and it's like, what does it say? A book everyone should read because everyone should do their fucking eyebrows. Like honestly, this is so worn off. I use the e.l.f. brow pencil, spoolie pencil duo in deep brown. It's like a pencil like that, so it's like nice and creamy. And then I just brush it through. Like as you can see, I have pretty substantial eyebrows. They're just a little patchy, so I don't really go overboard with this kind of stuff. And I use deep brown because I don't know, I think I look better with a darker eyebrow. And the question, a book everyone should read. Okay, The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas should be required reading. And I have the hope that like by the time I have kids that are in like 9th grade English, they have to read The Hate You Give, because it is so, well, it's actually, hopefully by the time my kids are in 9th grade, I don't have kids yet, and by the time they're in 9th grade, I really hope that it's no longer pertinent or relevant, because I hope that this problem, like this epidemic that we have of like black people being killed at a disproportional rate by cops, like you can argue all you want, but the facts are there, is no longer a problem. And I hope that like violence in low-income communities is no longer a problem. But because it is right now, everyone should read that book. Everyone should get an understanding of what people go through that are different than them. And if you don't believe in the message that the book is portraying, then you should do your research, because it's true, it's factual, it's real, it's not a big conspiracy. It's really happening to people of color, especially black people, all the time. And you should educate yourself. And what better way to do that than with a really well-written fictional portrayal of an actual real epidemic. The next one is eyeshadow. So it's favorite colors on the cover, and I'm not gonna make you guys sit through my whole eyeshadow like thing because I'm not a beauty guru and I really don't know what the hell I'm doing. But I'm gonna use the ColourPop Give It To Me Straight palette. It looks like this. Nice, neutral, warm tones for green eyes. But I'll answer the question. Some of my favorite colors on the cover are Half-Blood Prince, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. I love green. I love the greeny purpley mixture on the cover of the Half-Blood Prince. I think that most of the Harry Potter covers are really pretty. So that's my favorite one, and I'll be right back after I put this stuff on my face. We're done. It's an adventure when you have deep set, hooded ass eyelids like I do. To try to get a nice metallic-y, like friendly eye. I'm holding this because the next one is eyeliner. Eyeliner is a dark and mysterious book. Now, because I have hooded deep set eyes, I don't usually do top eyeliner, but I am a child of the 90s, and I do tightline my lower waterline. And I use this big ass e.l.f. black pencil because it's just really smooth. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It doesn't hurt my lower waterline. But the book that I would pick as a dark and mysterious book is, and I know you guys are tired of me talking about it, and I don't care, The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. It's one of my favorite books ever. If you don't know that, I don't know if you've ever seen my videos. Hi, I'm Renae. I write books, and I like The Haunting of Hill House. Are you okay? Can you stop being so loud? But yeah, The Haunting of Hill House. Dark, mysterious. You have no idea what's going on until the end, and even then you still really don't know. It is nothing like the Netflix adaptation, although I really loved the Netflix adaptation. But don't read the book thinking it's going to be that, because it's not. We're almost done here. Mascara is a long book. That is the prompt. And I use the Wet n Wild Max Volume Plus waterproof formula mascara. I don't know if it's the brush. Ooh, beauty guru in this bitch. I don't know if it's the brush or what, but I love this freaking mascara so much. A long book. I don't know, you guys ever seen this book called It by Stephen King that looks like a Bible? I had never read it physically. I'd read it, tried to read it in an ebook. I tried to listen to it in an audiobook, but I really always enjoyed the story itself, and so I decided for Christmas this year I was gonna buy a physical copy of It. Actually, hold on a second. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What? Okay. Literally like 1,200 pages. All right, guys, we made it. The last question. Well, actually, this says lipstick, but I need to put on lip liner first, so hang on, bear with me. I'm using Wet n Wild Perfect Pout Gel Lip Liner in Red the Scene. So for lipstick, it's your favorite book kiss. So I'm going in with a Matte Beauty Mix and Matte Lip Duo. This is a matte, like regular cream lipstick and a gloss on the bottom. The color is Red Velvet. I don't love this lipstick. It's pretty good, but their Miracle Matte Lip, I wear the Rosewood shade. It's at work, so I'm not wearing it right now. I wear the Rosewood shade every single day at work. It is so creamy. It smells like chocolate. It's the perfect nude brown. Oh, love it. Anyways, my favorite book kiss. Laura Jean Covey and Peter Kavinsky's hot tub kiss into All the Boys I Loved Before will haunt me for the rest of my days as like one of the best things I've ever read in my life. And I'm probably biased because I did watch the Netflix movie and I am in love with Lana Condor right now. But you still can't deny that like a hot tub makeout is fantastic. Alright guys, so that's it for this week. If you like this video, let me know. Give it a thumbs up. You know, like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. I will see you next Wednesday. And yeah, go read the books that I mentioned. Bye.